Introducing the Group 1 of PCBET 22 to 601A in Technical Communication. Kyla Bosco, Jesse Jel Jacana, Ella Kainde, Cacharel Chloe Cabezas, Danielle Cruz, Erica Bulow, Leslie Ann Boris, Esther Roldan. The writing process, pre-writing and the re-writing stage, characteristics and elements of business letters.
Hello, my name is Jessie and welcome to the writing process. I am super excited to have you here. Excited about the topic we'll get today. Are you a student who is uncomfortable whenever your professor gave you an essay? Or are you a student who is hard to find on how to start an essay? What to write first, and not really know how to get your thoughts and opinions and writings. It's a little bit scared, right? But if you are that student, well, probably this topic is good and great for you. In this video, I will show you the process of writing that will help you to generate your ideas from the first draft of your work. Let's get started. When you read a book, it is quite amazing how such authors can think and write 1,000 words and make a book. It's like, wow, how can they do that? But you can also do the same by learning and writing using the process of writing. There are 5 processes of writing that will help you. But first, let's define what is process of writing. Writing pertains to action that people take in the course of producing any kind of text. It is your free will to write what you want, like stories, novels, poems, and many more. Process, steps that need to be followed. If you combine these 2 words, it will give you a word, process writing. In other words, process writing takes several steps to go through before completing writing an essay or paragraph. This will guide you to divide the task into different stages, and a good thing about it is that as your text develops, you see that you need to return to previous stage to make an addition and revision of your work. The 5 processes of writing: pre-writing and brainstorming, planning and outlining, writing a first draft, redrafting and revising, and editing and proofreading. Before you ever go to writing, there's a lot that you need to consider to help you to get started. This part of the writing process is called the pre-writing stages because it's everything you do before you write your first draft. Pre-writing literally means before writing. Before you begin writing your essay or paragraph, you need to do the following things. The first one is choose a topic to write on. Your topic should have a purpose. You might choose to write, to teach something, tell a story, express your thoughts and ideas, or something that your audience are interested to read. How will you know what to write? You can keep a running list ideas in your notebook. Whenever you get inspiration, something you see, feel or hear, experience, write it down in note form. Then, if you have some time to write, then you can choose from the ideas you listed. The second one is brainstorm or generate ideas from your topic. Once you have chosen a topic from the idea you have listed and you know what your purpose, you can now begin brainstorming. When you're brainstorming for writing, you are taking everything that comes in your mind and putting it on your paper. So, you are taking all many ideas you think about and write it down. You can also search for the resources in order for you to add what the things you needed to include. You can gather information by means of reading relevant information. The third one is focus on the central ideas. Once you know what topic you will write and gathered information, you need to start and focus on your main topic. Demonstrate a good understanding and includes examples and important details. The second stage is planning and outlining. It is important to use a logical structure to convey information effectively. Creating an outline is a useful way to plan your structure before you start writing. This will help you to work out the main ideas you want to focus on and how you organize them. For example, you can make an outline like what you write in the introduction, in the body, and in the conclusion. You can use bullet forms and numberings to see organization of the ideas you are going to write. The third stage is writing a first draft. In writing a first, use an outline as your framework. You can start in writing each paragraph in a systematic way. The criteria that you need to follow in writing your first draft is: first, introduce the point of the paragraph by a topic sentence. Second, provide evidence relating to your arguments. Third, explain or interpret the evidence you gathered. And finally, express the conclusion and the final result of your ideas. If you're done following the criteria, now it's time to look critical to your draft and some potential areas for improvement. In this stage, you must be familiar or look to the larger issues like unclear or illogical arguments, poorly ordered information, incomplete or short passages, and irrelevant passages. And the last stages in writing process is editing and proofreading. When you edit, you ensure that the text you wrote is clear and fact, and words that you wrote is grammatically correct. You also ensure that it is free from ambiguous phrasing and redundancy and repetition. With regards to the proofreading, you can look on the typos of words or the spellings of words you are confused about, like whether you use a serial commas, use American and British spelling and punctuation, use numeral of words for numbers, and how to capitalize the titles and headings. Do not confuse about revising, editing, and proofreading. Revising, where you add, cut, move, or change information in order to improve your content. Editing, you ensure or take a look at the words and sentences you express and fix problems in grammars, punctuation, and sentences structure. And last is proofreading, you ensure that the words you write is correct in spelling. And that's all. Thank you.
Expository techniques in technical writing.
Hi, my name is Blasian Boras. Today, I'm going to discuss about expository writing. Expository writing, writing that seeks to explain, illuminate, or expose, which is where the word expository came from. This type of writing includes essay, newspaper, magazine articles, textbook, and other form of writing, so long that they seek to explain. When writing an expository essay, it is important to write the assumption that your audience has a little background knowledge about the main topic. The writer's duty is to provide the reader as much information as you can. There are different types of expository writing. First, description essay. It can be used when the writer wants to describe the characteristic or future of a person, place, thing, process, event. Descriptive essay, more than the type of expository writing, seeks to stimulate the reader's senses. Second, process essay. This type of essay will tell you about a task and how to complete the task. Third, comparison essay. This type of writing has two features. Comparison, which works the similarities of two contents, and contrast, which works the different use of two contents. Fourth, cause and effect essay. This type of essay answers the following questions: why did something happen, and what impact might have? They may include environmental problem or ask for opinions about an issue and how it will affect the future. And last, number 5, problem and solving essay. These writings are exactly what our might expect. Identifying an issue, giving details about it, and suggesting solution or one solution that is best from many. 5 elements of expository writing. First, organization. When you organize an essay, it needs to follow logical sequence. Like novel, beginning of the book, middle of the book, end of the book, the sequence. Second best idea, third best idea, best idea. The directions. First step, second step, and third step. The second element. Topic sentence, thesis statement, and subtopic. Thesis, statement discussing the topic of your paper. Subtopics, the main ideas that support your thesis. Topic sentence, a statement that discusses the topic of each paragraph. The third element, transition. Transition shifts from one paragraph to the next. The fourth element, evidence and example. Your evidence is the meat of the essay. You need to prove what you know. Remember the four E's: examples, explanation, evidence, elaboration. And last of the element, conclusion. Conclusions restate your thesis and subtopics and remind your reader what you wrote about. The concluding paragraph of an expository essay is an author's last chance to create a good impression. Conclusion paragraph. Begin with a topic sentence that reflects the agreement of the thesis statement. Briefly summarize the main point of the paper and provide a strong and effective close for the paper. In expository essay, the introductory paragraph contains the thesis or main idea. The next 3 paragraphs or the body of the essay provide details in support of the thesis. The concluding paragraph restates the main idea and ties together the major points of essay.
Characteristics and elements of business letter.
We use business letters when mailing documents to a government agency, filing formal requests, sending professional documents, or designing a cover letter. So it says here that no matter where you are in or what field you are in, it is very important to know the parts of a business letter. So I'm here to discuss the elements of the business letters we need to know first in order to write or to make a business letter. It says that no matter where you are in or what field you are in, it is very important to know the parts of a business letter. So I'm here to discuss the elements of business letters we need to know first before writing a professional business letter. So let's proceed. The elements of a business letter. The first one is the heading. The heading is typically found on the upper left-hand corner of the page. It's usually 2 to 3 lines, and it includes your important information such as your name, your return address, your number, and your email. The second one is the date. It is the date a letter is written. It should be placed below the writer's return address, and it is the final component in the heading of the business letter. The third one is the inside address. It should be justified to the left margin of the letter and place 2 spaces below the date. It is the address you are sending your letter to. Make it as complete as possible. Includes the titles and names. The titles and names are referring into this is if you know the recipient's name or if she or he has a prefixes like for example Mr. or Miss. So, or doctor, so write Mr. or Miss followed by the name of the recipient. The salutation is also known as a greeting, wherein it includes the title and full name of the recipients followed by a colon. It is placed on the left margin of the letter and it should be justified and place 2 spaces below the inside address. You should have it on its own line, with the first letter capitalized and a comma at the end, followed by the signature that is placed 2 spaces below the closing line that contains the name of the sender and the signature on the top of the sender's name. The number 6 is the complementary closing. It is the closing of the letter where you will end the business letter with professional closing. Commonly used are sincerely yours, best regards, and thank you. The last and the final element of the business letter is an additional notation section, often follows the close. It is just an additional part of the business letter wherein the initials of the writer or dictator and the typist or the transcribers is being written. Usually, the sender's initials are capitalized and the typists are in lowercase. That's all. Thank you.
Top 15 characteristics of an effective business.
Hi everyone, I'm Esther Edwaldan. I will report the top 15 characteristics of an effective business letter. Why do we need to know the characteristic of business letter? Because in business, letters play an important part because it exchanges information that concludes transaction between people such as customers, suppliers, investor, government offices, and so on. It also establishing and maintaining the relationship with various parties. Therefore, in order to achieve business goal, it all required help of business letter. Thus, here is the top 15 characteristic of an effective business letter. First, simplicity. A business letter should be simple. It should be written in a lucid or easy language so that it is clear to the receiver. The letter written for business must be simple as possible so the reader or the receiver can understand what the written means to say. Where a language used can be similar to social letters that reflect the nature of open and friendly chat. We are not allowed to use long words because formality is still maintained. Next, conversational style. An effective letter is one that gives an impression of face-to-face communication. Letters are the written media by which sender of message speak to the receiver. Having a conversational writing style means that you are right the way you speak. Especially if it's something that you actually want to be read and easier for your reader to translate to you as an actual person. Yet, you can use more or less formal language. Public relation. Business letter reflects the image of the organization. All business letters should be drafted, keeping in mind that the objective of enhancing the organization's goodwill image, and public relation. In public relation, it is the vital part of any business, communication, and reputation. This is the building strategy, like maintaining their goodwill, image, and their relationship in public. Communication should be conformity with general objectives of organization. When the communication is effective and maintained, then the company will able to recover in any circumstances. The you attitude. The business letter should be written keeping in mind that the reader's point of view. It should be able to convey the sender's interest in the reader. In this you attitude, in making business letter, the reader interest must be emphasized and not the sender's interest. Their desire, problems, circumstances, emotions, and probable reaction are to be taken in. Instead of using I or we of viewpoint, it must be written in the form of you to win the reader's mind and attention. For example, in you attitude, for appreciating sender should say, "Thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve you," instead of using I or we attitude and saying, "I am happy to hear that you have selected our firms." Next, courteous. Courtesy implies that the letter seeks politely and express gratitude for the favors done. The language of the letter should be polite and appealing. Courtesy means politeness and humbles with a sincerity, as you can build a strong relationship, creates goodwill, and produces a favorable responses. If you do it, then the reader will give you a good impression and respect automatically follows rather than hatred. Next, persuading. The basic idea behind every business correspondence is to persuade the reader, be it a seal letter, letter of inquiry, or letter of complaint. In this persuasion, it is important for you to write a letter in confident manner. If you want to read the reader agree with you, it is necessary to have a complete knowledge about the subject matter by supporting your arguments with the facts. Besides, you must know your reader well, such as their belief, weak and strong points. This pathway showing a possible commitment to our possible reader or receiver. Next, sincere. The business letter should be sincere. This means that the letter should be written in such a way that the reader believes what the letter says. It should not hide the reality. Sincerity. It is important to be honest and true to your words in making business letter. It's implying that you are reliable and sincere in transactions. Next is positive language. The words of the letter should be chosen with care. As far as possible, the language of the piece of letter should be positive. These characteristics takes care of showing politely or humble manner to your reader by using positive language, and also this manner showing a formality of a business letter. Next, do emphasis. Proper emphasis should be put on the content of the piece of correspondence. This requires logical thinking on the part of the writer. Proper punctuation aids to this. It should also be noted that short sentences are better than long sentences. In my perspective, do emphasis it should be direct to the point, because if you use so many flowery words in your letter, it sets a confusion in the minds of the reader of what you really want to emphasize in your business letter. Next, coherence. The information Next, coherence. The information present in the letter should be arranged in a logical way. This is done by using carefully the linking devices, pronouns, and repeating the keywords. In coherence, it should be arranging your sentences because it must be formal writing. You should use proper function. Next, coherence. The information present in the letter should be arranged in a logical way. This is done by using carefully linking devices, pronouns, and repeating the keywords. In coherence, it should be arranging your sentences because it must be a proper or formal writing. You should use proper punctuation and it should be in sequence. Care for culture. All business correspondence seek to be written, keeping in mind the reader's point of view, such as no word should be used which offends the cultural background of the reader. The best way is to avoid use of culturally derived words, slangs, colloquialism, harmless and inoffensive words should be used. Sometimes in our letter, we include culturally derived words or slang words to convey our feeling or determination in the letter. We should avoid those words to care the other's cultural belief and expression in order for us to communicate peacefully. Next, tactful approach. The writer should adopt a tactful approach while writing a business letter. It can be a direct approach letter, an indirect approach letter, or a middle approach letter, depending on the message to be conveyed. A tactful approach shows character, maturity, professionalism, and integrity. Tact also demonstrates good manner. If you can communicate with grace and consideration, you'll stand out in the crowd and you'll get noticed for the right reason. Next, ethical standard. A business letter reflects the image of an organization. Therefore, all business correspondence should maintain certain ethical standards. In ethical standards, it is the set of principles established by the founders of the organization to communicate its underlying moral values. This code provides a framework that can be used as a reference for decision-making process.
Thank you for watching.